As I watched the team building the bridge for my sister's island home, I heard quick, decisive footsteps behind me. I turned around and met Karen's cold, displeased gaze.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Her voice, full of irritation, cut through the morning silence. I exhaled, trying to stay calm. I'm building a bridge. My sister has a hard time getting to the ferry, I answered, pointing to the almost finished structure. Karen crossed her arms over her chest, her face contorted with contempt.
Do you think you own the neighborhood? This stupid bridge violates all the rules of the HOA. You have no right to build anything here at will. We won't turn a blind eye to your antics because of one simulator.
I clenched my fists, trying to contain my anger. You don't understand. It's really hard for her. This is not a whim. She needs this bridge. Karen smiled and took a step closer, her eyes flashing with mocking fire.
Oh, you poor thing. Maybe we should build you a private ferry. Or maybe you should just leave and not embarrass yourself.
I drew in a breath, ready to answer, but I didn't have time. Suddenly, I was struck by a sharp, excruciating pain. An electric shock went through my entire body. I jerked, unable to resist. The last thing I saw before I fell to the ground was Karen. But let's start from the beginning. My sister Emily's island home has always been more than just a place to live. It was her native refuge, her quiet sanctuary where she could recuperate, escaping the bustle of the city and finding harmony with nature. Every time she came there, she would lovingly take care of the house, walk along the trails, keep a bird-watching diary, and sit on the veranda for hours enjoying the sunsets. But over the past few months, her health deteriorated, and ordinary things that had not been a problem before became a real challenge. Leaving the house was especially difficult. The only way to get to civilization was by ferry, which ran irregularly, depended on weather conditions, and in winter stopped working altogether. Any sudden need for medical care became a problem. I heard the fatigue, anxiety, and despair in her voice more than once when she told me how another storm had delayed her trip to the city for a whole week. I thought about possible solutions for a long time. Moving to the mainland was unacceptable for her. This island house was part of her life, her memories, and her soul. I realized that I had to find another way out. And then an idea popped into my head: to build a bridge. But a few days after the construction started, I heard Karen screaming.
What the hell is going on here?
She shouted, looking at the bridge with obvious disgust. I calmly wiped my hands on my work gloves and turned to her. I'm building a bridge to my sister's house. It will make her life easier, I said in a steady voice, not intending to start a fight. Karen snorted and rolled her eyes.
Oh, poor little sister, can't she walk a few steps on a normal road?
She said sarcastically.
Maybe you should just put a throne for her right away, or make another entrance to the courtyard.
I gritted my teeth. This is private land, Karen. I don't need the HOA's permission. Karen folded her arms across her chest, tilting her head to the side.
Oh, private then? What about the public good, huh? Do you even think about the neighbors? We keep order here, and you spoil the neighborhood.
This bridge doesn't bother anyone. It makes it easier for my sister to get around. Karen gave a fake laugh.
Your sister? That's a lie. She's perfectly healthy. She walks, she moves around. What, another excuse to get yourself special treatment?
My blood boiled. You don't even know what she's been through, I said quietly but menacingly.
I don't need to know,
Karen said.
I know one thing. This horrible bridge disfigures the neighborhood. It's a threat to aesthetics.
She poked the folder at me again, as if she could prove something.
I demand that you stop the construction immediately.
I gave her a long look. You can demand all you want, Karen. The bridge will stay. I turned around, about to continue working, but Karen wasn't about to back down. She grabbed her phone and immediately started calling someone.
Yes, this is Karen. We have a code violation here. There's illegal construction. We need you to deal with this immediately.
I heard her add in a whisper,
Yes, he's doing it again. Of course, without permission, and under the guise of helping some sick sister.
I clenched my fist but did not let her see my anger. I was confident in my rightness and knew that I was not going to give in. A few days later, strangers began to appear near my plot. They were inspecting the area, taking pictures of the bridge, making notes in notebooks, and discussing something intensely. Their behavior immediately struck me as suspicious. My suspicions grew when I learned that the HOA was in talks with a large developer who had long been planning a large-scale project on the coast. Their goal was ambitious: to buy a small island nearby and build an elite resort with private villas and a casino. But there was one serious caveat. My bridge was in the way of their project. It blocked convenient access to the island and destroyed a carefully thought-out infrastructure scheme. It simply should not have been in their plans. But what happened next finally proved that I was dealing not just with the whims of the chairman of the HOA, but with a real criminal scheme. At night, unknown persons broke into my house. They turned over the furniture, broke the locks, and stole all the documents related to the bridge. Soon I noticed that cars with darkened windows were constantly parked near my sister's house. They were clearly trying to intimidate us. Karen was not just a pawn in this game, she was actively working with the developer, helping him to force us off the site. I realized that it was pointless to contact the local authorities. They were either bribed or intimidated. So I decided to file a complaint with the FBI. This was a turning point. Federal agents became interested in the strange connections between the HOA and the developer and began their investigation. Meanwhile, Karen did not give up. She got a decree to demolish the bridge, and one night workers with heavy machinery tried to destroy it. But I was there in time. Turning on the camera and starting a live stream, I recorded everything that was happening. The video quickly spread on social media, causing a public outcry. People were outraged by the way the authorities were disposing of other people's property with impunity. Under pressure from public opinion and an active FBI investigation, the situation began to change rapidly. Searches of the HOA office exposed financial fraud, sham transactions, and illegal schemes. Several individuals, including Karen, were detained for questioning. As the FBI investigation approached its final stage, the developer finally abandoned the project. The court overturned the demolition order, confirming its legality. Karen was ordered to cover the costs of building the bridge, and until then, my sister will live in her house.